Good morning. It's Brian Rose from London Real. This is the Daily 5, how to survive and thrive in these crazy ass times of crisis. Look, we got some serious lockdown going on here in London, but we're still broadcasting. I think it's super important that we get these messages out to the world. So I'm heading into the office. And today I want to talk about something that gets a lot of lip service that I don't think people understand, and something that can change your day right now, could change your life. And that is this concept of gratitude. Now, again, a lot of people give it a lot of lip service these days, but gratitude is the essence of living a life of happiness, period. You know, two people can look at the same exact event or situation and come away with two different perspectives of that situation. And so that means that you can choose how you feel or respond to anything that happens in your life. Take, for example, this COVID-19 lockdown. Now, most of us are in lockdown, working from home, confined to spaces. Now, two different people can look at that differently. One can say, I'm imprisoned, this sucks, I hate the world, blah, blah, blah. The other person can say, wow, this is a time for me to learn how to meditate. This is a time for me to write my book. This is a time for to test me to see how strong my relationships are. And again, those two different people will walk away with a completely different experience. And it's all a way of you look at it in the mind. Some call it reframing. How can you reframe an experience to look at it from a positive standpoint? And one of my good friends and guests on London Real, Wes Watson, has a great line, and I love this. And Wes spent 10 years in the California penal system, locked up. He's straight blasted. He's got tattoos everywhere. He cusses worse than a sailor. But Wes has some serious knowledge, and he says, life is one big gratitude test. Think about that. Life is one big gratitude test. Everything that happens in your life is trying to see if you can stay in a grateful frame. Just think about that. All those things. Beat up as a kid, your grandma died, your arm broke, that job you got fired from, all that is just to see if you can stay in a grateful frame. Now, if you look at life that way, it's just a gratitude test. Are you going to fail today, or are you going to win the test or pass the test? And so think about it that way. I think that's really good. The other thing that Wes, I love saying, and this is very gratitude related, is this: life is happening for you, not to you. Let me say that again. Life is happening for you, not to you. And that's an incredible way of looking at the world. We've all heard of this concept of victim mentality. Man, there's nothing I hate worse than a victim. I used to have this teacher in auto shop at Torrey Pines High School, and that was the lowest thing he could call someone when you were trying to work on your car and you couldn't figure out the part. He would just say, victim. And everyone was like, oh, I'm not a victim. And a victim is someone who life happens to them. It's always happening to them. You know the one, my boss screwed me. That's my favorite. Whenever I hear that from someone, I immediately excuse myself and I never see that person again, because I don't want to be around that energy. That's bad energy. Or this thing happened to me. This person's girlfriend dumped me. Everything happens to them, as opposed to someone that said, oh, wow, that was a challenge. I used to come home from horrible days in the city where guys were yelling down the phone, calling me the nastiest names, losing money. And Mariana would say, how's today? I said, today was challenging. And she'd be like, oh, that's a nice way of looking at it. And so part of me always kind of knew the victim mentality is a hole that when you go down, you can't get back up it. You just can't. You can't come back from the victim mentality. So again, think about, how is life happening for you? Everything is a test to make you stronger. I overdosed of heroin in 2001. I woke up in a fucking hospital bed. My life was shit, and I went back to doing heroin. Now, I could look at that as a victim mentality, but that makes me so strong right now. It's giving me the strength to get through all this bullshit right now because of all that stuff. So is that happening to me or for me? Obviously, it was happening for me. All that stuff strengthened me. I was so isolated back in the day. I used to isolate myself when I was going through 2001 in New York City. I would go 10 days without seeing a single soul. I hardened myself to where none of this stuff bothers me. The isolation doesn't bother me. I've put myself and gone through such hard times that some of this stuff is somewhat laughable. So was that happening to me or for me? For me. So think about all these things in your life. They've made you who you are today. I posted something the other day. I said, hard times breed hard people. Don't you want to be someone with character, someone you're proud of? Of course you do. That's how self-esteem is built, giving yourself tests and passing them. Self-esteem, you can't fake yourself. You know if you punked out on that test. You know if you showed up. You know if you did the right thing. So make sure that you put those tests in and fucking pass them. And remember, life's happening for you. So exercise the day. I want you to write down 3 things you're grateful for. I do this every single day. And you got to get creative. As my good friend James Altucher say, you can't say I'm grateful for the sun and I'm grateful for my kids and I'm grateful for the birds every day. No. Sometimes I say I'm grateful that the tube broke down today because it teaches me patience as I sit in a crowded elevator full of people, and it teaches me that I should be grateful to even have a transportation system. I'm super grateful that the sun is out. I'm grateful that I get to go to work. Not that I have to go to work, that I get to go to work. I'm grateful for my 2 beautiful boys. I'm grateful that my wife Mariana is keeping it together. I'm grateful that this virus isn't going to kill everybody in the world. I'm grateful that we have good leadership. I'm grateful that all sorts of things. And so think about those things you're grateful for. Every day, list out 3. I do mine in my journal, and it's really, really important. So again, reframe today. Focus on what you can control. Focus on what you're grateful for. Do you have arms that work? Are you still alive? Well, then be grateful for that. Go do something with that life. Don't just sit around. Don't just pass the time. Get out there, get disciplined. People would kill for what you have right now. There's people in hospitals right now that would kill for the chance to do 100 burpees today, to do some work, to stay focused, to have the opportunity to be positive. So take all that stuff and stop being a victim and saying the woe is me nonsense. Get in the grateful frame. And as my good friend John Joseph, who pushed me through the movie Iron Mind to do an Ironman race, he said, gratitude is attitude. All right. That's it, man. Lots of love. If you need anything from me, hello@londonreal.tv. Send me an email. Also, we got tons of free stuff on our website. Go watch something that's going to get you to take action today. Peace from London.